talking to us. Time is talking to me. All things are being brought back into remembrance. Today is 9/12 at 5:42 a.m. A download has been brought to my remembrance, and I have to say it in order to keep it. How is it that these Indian councils are using the same maritime land laws, piracy, squatter, European, Eurocentric worldview legislation against the original people as well? How is it they can sit in a high council and tell those Negro, indigenous, that they are not part of the land? How is that? When in fact, they're doing the same thing that has been said to have been done to them by the colonizer. Their laws, their rationales, their reasons, their logic has all been the same thing of the colonizer. The one who came over to a land that they say is theirs and treated them with smallpox, and treated them with disease and plague, and treated them with the Trail of Tears, the Seminole Wars, the Cherokee Wars, every war known to man here on this land. How is it that they are now interpreting things from a Eurocentric worldview against the same people that the European national government, national council, high supreme council is doing as well? How is it that they get to entreat the Negro, the Hebrew, the same way that they were done? Now, if logic would have it, if the colonizer who colonized your land and pushed you to a piece of land where you have not been productive, producing ever, except for through money laundering of casinos, like the colonizer, with a colonizer flag on your land, how is it that you have the authority to keep the original people, the indigenous people, the Hebrew people off their land? Are you not squatters? And by law, squatters utilizing, squatters stealing land or a home can use the law against the original owner? And whose law is it? Whose law is it? There were giants on this land, on these lands. Why are you not, as a Indian council, high council, speaking on it? Why are you not speaking on your rich history? because it's not yours. If you are the original indigenous people, then that would mean that you are also indigenous of what they call Mexico today, what they call Central America today, what they call South America today. How is it that you're on a landmass that looks nothing like Asia, yet you have phenotypes of Asia, haplotypes of Asia? Your scientific genomes are Asian. We can look at you and see that you are Asian, of Asian descent. And you say to us that we are of African descent, and we don't look African. Never have. A few of us does, but not overall, in bulk, like you all, looking Asian. We want justice for just us. There is no taking or giving to you all ever again. The justice that we seek, the justice that we demand is here. We are commanding our spirits because the spirits want us to command them to help us give justice to just us, not you. That's why it is a cleaving principle to us. We have the guile, we have the strength, we have the wisdom, we have the reason. And everybody wants to try to keep that from us. Why is that? The only people that couldn't read, how is that? Indians. How do you have your people on lands that they do not produce anything from? The land is dry. You all have been eating the fat of the European pig, eating the fat of the European sugar. And now you all have a disabling disease running rampant through your people. The Asians don't eat that way. They're the only people that don't eat like the Europeans. They eat other things, but not like the Europeans. And so you put your people in squalor on what is called a reservation. A reservation. Not your land, but a reservation. One that I make when I go to a restaurant, to have the right to reserve the seat at the table to eat. And this is what you all have done. Created a squatter's land on our land, trying to make it seem as if we are not who we say we are, when clearly you all are not the people of the book, the people of ancient, the people of old, the people of originality, the people of the Creator, the Great Spirit. You all are not. If you were, you would not be in the state of being that you are in today. Just like the European, not being ancient, not being first, not being the true inhabitants of wisdom. Wisdom was only given to the few, yet the many who could hold her, who could carry the burden, who could carry burdens, who understood truth and function, not death and thievery and robbery, but for a time, since everybody is the Creator's creation, straightforwardly and inadvertently, everyone had an opportunity to build their testimony. He let many be led astray, even squatters to this day. Yet now we are at the time where time talks to us. All things being brought back to remembrance. Just write it in a book. Just watch. Watch what they do and report back to me. And the spirits did this. They wanted to help because they knew the unrighteous ruled. And now today, we're seeing the exchange, the change of the situation of hand. Our spirits are telling us, whispering to us in our minds, in our ears, in our eyes. Do you see? Do you see their demise? You are wise, my son, my daughter. Do not be like the heathen. Do not be like the unwise. For wisdom is here again to show you that time talks to you. See, the heathen will change times and laws to an unrighteous state to make us be destroyed and quake, quaking at their footsteps, quaking at their rule, quaking at their ways. The European, Eurocentric worldview. Everything is their way. How is that? When they are not ancient to this day. They scarcely want to remember the times. Only when it applies to them when they are in line with each other. Only when it gives them rulership do they want to expound on time. Not the deeds, not the dirty deeds, not the wickedness, not the actions. Only the ruling times. And now we are seeing this, seeing them for who they are. And our Father is with us. Our Creator is with us. Our wisdom is with us. Our reason is with us. Reason, wisdom, Creator, Father, Yahweh Shai, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Mother, and the Father. Reason, wisdom, Creator. This is our story. We are the connection. We are the source. We're the conduit to the source here on earth, on land. And they are not. And in order to gain the land and the resources, they had to cut off the source, which ultimately cut off the source from them for a time. And now that time is back talking to us, bringing things back to remembrance, we see them from the beginning. We see them from the beginning. And who are they? Those are the ones that are in rule. The ones that are not, that are just talking this and that, are just the ones that are collateral damage in their eyes. They are ignorant to their own demise. But yet there are some, very few, very, very few, that will rise with us. That with us rise. This is the story of righteousness. Back to the people being seen through the perspective of their eyes. His story is a hell of a drug. Eurocentric worldview is a hell of a drug. It's the poison chalice to the source. It's the plug caps that you put into the wall for the plug to keep the children from poking stuff in it. That is what they are. And we now see them for who they are. And they give us Kamala. They give us a Trump. And each time we see them, they all look stumped. Stumped to the extent that they do not have reason. They do not have wisdom. They do not have the Creator, the source. And it's wildly evident today. And even these Asian squatters who are finding their way very tough at the plagues that they've been hiding from us is now on their head, because just us is justice. We are the source. There were giants in these lands. And after we came over, after we were given it, the 10 tribes only makes sense. The bulk of us had to come into this land where no man dwelt and subdue the giants. And we did that. And the giants, not all, but the giant women had to go. The procreators of the giants had to go. And those giants that were left, they were our protectors. And it only made sense that when the European came over here, the giants told us that they were here. And the only way that they could destroy the giants were to destroy them with gunpowder. Not a sword, not a spear, but a projectile. Multiple projectiles. And the sword, and multiple dogs. Dogs to get at their ankles, their arms, while the sword and the projectile pierced their skin. And they took down a lot of our people, a lot of our giants with these methods. And they spilled the blood of the giants that were subdued by us, and spilled a lot of blood of us on these lands of ours, of milk and honey. And they created lies, and they created laws, and they created councils to keep us from our land, to keep us from our home, to keep us from our heritage, to keep us from our Elohim, the source, reason, wisdom, and the creator, the source of all things. And they got that look on their face, and they're scared. These Indians of East and West, all of them, North and South, these byworded European, Eurocentric worldview people that have been put over us to be us. Our heritage is calling back to us to get, to take, to be. This is time talking to me. And it's an interesting remembrance. The Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incas, the Hebrews, the Judeans, some of the Bantu, but all of us, me and you. Everybody wants to be us. Nobody wants our plight. Nobody wants our suffering. Everybody wants to be us. Nobody wants the curses. They only want the blessings. Well, now it's fine. Now it's fair. Now it's just us. We get the blessing. We get time talking to us. We get brought back to remembrance. We get the source again. We get reason, the way. We get wisdom, the knowledge. We get the creator, the understanding. Look around. If we brought this world, these world councils to the court of the Most High, would they win or would they lie? I would state emphatically that they would lie. And their lies would destroy them. It's not the Father that wants to destroy them. They will destroy themselves. They will rent their clothes, scratch their eyes out, pull their hair out. For the burden of the lie is heavy on the spirit of man. What little they have will be taken from them. That's the other reason to cleave. That's the other reason. We were forced to cleave to their Eurocentric worldview. We were forced to cleave to their Gentile Christianity. We were forced to cleave to their historical stories, out of canonical, non-canonical, non-chronology stories. To survive during their time of rulership. And now the tides have turned. The pirates have been found out. The cove of the High Council of the pirates have been found out. This piracy that they have done over the minds, bodies, and spirits of the original indigenous peoples is now being brought to the court of the Most High in spirit first. That's why it's going to be a slow marinade. That's why it's going to take some time. In spirit first. And that's why we don't have to worry about anything other than maintaining our wisdom, our reason, our knowledge. Maintaining our source. Time keeps screaming. It's always been about you all. Always. It's in everything. And now today, 9/12, so-called 24, the day of reckoning for time past of these Gentiles, of these heathens, of these high councils, of these liars, these thieves, of these pirates. Because again, they are pirates because they sailed the seas looking to rob, steal, and destroy. So within their piracy, they have been found out, not by us, but by the Father. They are being exposed by the Father. They're being found out by us. They're being tried in the spirit realm as we speak. That's why many of them are struggling to keep up their masquerade, to keep up their ways. The animals are no longer giving them produce. Everything is, the rent is way too high to even live and survive. The gas to get to and fro is dwindling. Their logic of teaching and reasoning is found to be lacking and wanting. Their entertainment of circus and bread has become mundane and an afterthought. Their politics has become a theater of middle school-like communication. All of it is being exposed. And the interesting thing is that we are nowhere to be found in it. There are people who look like us, but are not us. We are the people of the book. The Hebrews, who they have said are no more. The European seed cannot wipe out a dominant seed unless it drops a massive bomb and destroys not only their seed or the original seed, but their seed too. They can't eradicate a people. That's why they say, oh, God destroyed them all. That's not written. So again, logic would have it that if what they say is not written nor found to be true, then that would stand to reason that the Hebrews are still here. Everyone is still here who's been here. I am so glad that I got this download. And there's more, much more. I am thankful to be a Hebrew of the human race. I'm not looking to be part of mankind's madness anymore, any longer. It has been a long time coming to get to this point, to be able to stand in boldness, to speak what has come to us, come to me in reason and remembrance. These people are faltering. They're dancing on a spike. They're standing on the tip of a sword, and they soon will be destroyed, not by us, but by their own hand, their own mind, and their own actions. Their history will be their destruction. They are no longer in control. The authority 9/12, 2024 so-called, the authority of the European worldview has been taken. Rejoice in that. It has been taken, it has been stripped from them. in the spirit world, from this point forward, it's gone. All praises, all praises, all praises, all praises to our Elohim. All praises to our Creator, to our mother, to our brother, to our father, to our mother, to our brother. And all praises to our nation. All praises and shalom to our nation, that it may rise again in righteousness and bring balance back to a world that's so imbalanced. All praises, shalom.